Welcome back everybody to Skyrim's Mod of the Day episode 247, and in this episode I'm looking at a great new HUD widget called A Matter of Time. Now in this instance I direct you to the top left of your screen and you will notice we now have a clock, a visible clock nonetheless, in Skyrim. That not only serves its function well, it also looks beautiful and it fits in perfectly. Now I will show you the variations of this clock at the end of the video up close, but for now let's have a look through the mod configuration menu to look at the several options we have available to us. Now in the MCM you will notice we have a plethora of options available to us, which is always a great thing, as you know I always say. The first of which is the theme. Now you can either have a sky dial or picture of the day. So, depends on your preference. I personally do prefer the sky dial because I think it looks the most lore friendly. Picture of the day I'm not really a fan of. Again, I will show you these at the end of the video. So sky dial in my opinion is the better one, just for lore friendliness, and it fits in with the HUD perfectly. The second one is Sha Symbol. Now the symbol of course is the theme. You can have picture of a day or sky dial like I mentioned, and you can choose to show it or not show it. Showing the clock of course is the text underneath showing you the exact time of day. If you're using a symbol of the sky dial, it is a bit easier to use because you can actually see the symbol of the suns and moons moving, so you can kind of guess what time it is without having some ugly, text on your screen, which again might not look lore friendly, while the sky dial by itself does. We also have short seconds, which I think, again, you'll see at the end of the video. I don't like the seconds, it's a bit too distracting. All you can see is constantly moving numbers, as most of you will know, the time scale in Skyrim moves fairly fast. Therefore, 1 second in our time goes past, I think, at the rate of 16 or 20 of the world in Skyrim, so it goes pretty fast. It's very distracting. I do not like putting the seconds on, but as you can see by default it's off, so yeah, the author thinks the same, but it's in there just in case you want it. We've also got the option of the 24-hour or 12-hour clock. Again, this is down to your own preference. Default is on. I prefer the 12-hour clock just because I do. Simple as that. Now, these are the ones I will show you now rather than at the end, such as Alpha, Scale Symbol, and the Scale the Clock. Alpha, of course, is the transparency of the symbol. I personally prefer it at 50%. But I've got on 100% now to show you. We've got the scale of the symbol 100% and the scale of the clock. You can change these however you see fit, although I think they're fine the way they are. I will show you it now again. As you can see, the only thing I like to change is the transparency. But if you feel so inclined, you can easily change anything. For example, you can go to 1%, which you will not be able to see anything, you'll see a dot, all the way to maximum 200%, which I warn you is very massive. As you can see, it takes a pretty much, I think that's what, almost a quarter, just under a quarter of the screen, like 1/8 of the screen. It's very large, and you can see the sun right there, and it is slowly moving, I believe, through. So that's a good estimation of time rather than using the text. Now, the text is one problem I don't like. The text looks out of place. That's why I don't want to use the text, really. I'd rather use the actual symbol to keep it more lore friendly, but I don't think it really matters, and I'll tell you why later on. Going down to Alpha, like I said, I prefer it to 50%. That's my personal preference. It's up to you. I believe it blends in nicely that way. As you can see, I like that much more. Changing the size of the text, I wouldn't do that if I was you, because changing that to the massive is not the best. It looks kind of terrible. See, more ugly numbers in your face. So if you're like me, you will have the actual clock off. But for now, let's go back down to a nice 100% because I am going to show you the other options we get. We get positions. Again, I'll show you these right now rather than at the end. You can go left, right, center, and left again. That is the horizontal anchor, so where it's going to go. Let's, for sake, put it in the center. And if you wanted to, you could put it top, bottom, or middle. I'll put it in the center, of course, which again, I wouldn't recommend that, but just to show what it looks like, there you go. We've now got the clock in the center of the screen. which is extremely distracting. I can't see anyone doing that, but you never know. Horizontal offset is basically how it's offset, so it doesn't need an explanation. We've also got the favourite part of this, which is control mode. So there is 3 control modes, such as always on, which again I don't like. We've got timed, and we've got toggle. Now, toggle and timed are almost the same. I've got mine hotkeyed to 1. So basically, of course, simple as it says, I press 1, it will appear on screen, and it will not go off until I press 1 again. Which again, you might think, well, that's useful. Which it is, but I'd rather not hit the key twice. So I prefer it on timed. So as you can see, I've got my time on 2.5 seconds, display time. So once I press my hotkey of 1, it will appear. And after 2.5 seconds, it will nicely transition off. And that is perfect, because if I want the in-game time real quick, I'll press my hotkey. Yep, I can see the time. 2.5 seconds is more than enough, and it can fade off without me having to worry about it, which I believe is the best option. Again, some might like it on all the time. I prefer it timed. That's pretty much all I can show you based on this. Like I said, this is a great widget, because that's all it is really. It's a widget to your HUD, but I think it's something that I've always wanted in the game. Again, might not be for everyone's liking, some people probably don't even care, but I used to always press the T key, which in my case is the wait key, just to see what time it was. I always used to do this just to see the time, which I didn't like because it pauses the game, it looks ugly. I didn't like that at all. While now we have this nice lore friendly thing, of course not in the centre, you want it in one of your corners preferably, at least I think so. And just one more little thing I should mention is iHUD. Of course, if you want yours to be on, I had to change mine, because mine was on Sky UI toggle. So I changed it to Sky UI HUD, always on, because if you have that off, of course, you won't be able to see your clock at all. So in my situation, it's always on, and it's on in combat. So in turn, when I activate the clock, it will appear in combat, and in that, as long as I press my hotkey, if you're understanding me right now, because of course this mod does require Sky UI, and Immersive HUD alters Sky UI's appearance, or when it appears on your screen, to keep it looking less, you know, terrible. Thanks to Gopher, we've got that mod. Anyway, like I said, I will go ahead now and show you the different designs we get, and simply how good this thing looks, and how bad it can look in some situations. But with Skydial and the right settings, I think this mod looks absolutely beautiful and fits in perfectly well. Anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Go and endorse the mod on the Nexus, and see you next time.